Viewers, welcome to the Personal Injury Law Show. This is a show that talks about everything current in the law of personal injuries today and relevant to you, the viewer. Today, we're on location at the North Melbourne Football Club to film The Huddle. With me, I've got Sonja Hood, the General Manager of The Huddle. Sonia, tell us about The Huddle. What is it?
The Huddle is a community classroom of the North Melbourne Footy Club, based here on Aiden Street in North Melbourne, and we open in the evenings, during the day, weekends for kids from all around this area, mostly from new arrival and multicultural backgrounds.
So what you're doing is you're integrating other kids from ethnic backgrounds, Africa, Europe, Asia, into studies, helping them with their studies.
That's right.
Integrating them with football,
yep,
which is part of our society in Victoria.
That's right.
What other things do you do?
Look, we'll work with about 5,000 kids over the course of the year. So we teach school kids around this area from every background about our multicultural society and about what makes Melbourne, in my opinion, the greatest city in the world. We teach new arrivals kids. We open for study for them in the evenings, and they can come here. Kids, actually, again, from any background, but most of them are migrants, come here in the evening and they study, and we'll find a tutor to help them with their studies. We had a kid last year who got an enter of 99.5, so we've got some pretty high achieving kids in this space. And we do a lot of work out in the community through sport, introducing kids to the structure of sport in Australia, how to play and how to join a team. We're interested in getting these kids involved in mainstream education, sport, whatever it might be.
That's fantastic. Also, when you set up The Huddle, part of it was not only integrating the communities, which is your North Melbourne, Flemington, Kensington, it's also to develop a membership base for the club. Both
a membership base for the club, that's absolutely right, and also a place for the club to be embedded in its local community. There's been a footy ground on this site for 150 years, and the North Melbourne Footy Club has been on this site for 150 years, except for a small trip to Coburg, which nobody talks about. So in 2007, when the AFL wanted to move the club to the Gold Coast, what was on this site was a bunch of rundown portables that the footy department worked out of, some wrecked buildings, a real eyesore in the community. Administration was based down at Docklands, and this club gave nothing to its community.
Well, the facilities here today are fantastic, aren't they? They're next to none.
The facilities are amazing, and this facility is different than anything else in the AFL. So this facility was built by federal government money, state government money, local government money, North Melbourne Football Club money and philanthropic money as a shared facility between community and the footy club. Nothing else operates quite like this.
When was it started? When was The Huddle started?
The Huddle started in 2009, and it came together as an idea from the Scanlon Foundation, driven very heavily by Peter Scanlon, by the Footy Club, and from the Australian Multicultural Foundation. And there was a recognition that there is a high proportion of migrant kids in this area who were seen to be acting up. And we've all seen the television footage of, you know, and know about the difficulties between some African kids and some of the police, for example.
Of course.
And the suggestion was that we needed more services or more...
Give them some facilities to go to.
That's it. More
keep them busy, keep them off the streets, keep them occupied.
And something for them. Our focus in here is those kids. It's not their parents and it's not their grandparents and it's not the extended family. It's those kids in that 9 to 25-year-old age bracket who really want to make something of their lives in this country, and we want to help them to do that.
The beauty of this club, Sonia, is that you've got footballers going through it, you've got admin people, you've got the staff, but every day of the week, it facilitates education within this building. It facilitates sporting for the kids.
Yep.
So it's a fully active, integrated club, isn't it?
Absolutely. So we're here on a Sunday morning and this place is buzzing. You know, now the footy team plays this afternoon at Docklands, so there aren't many footballers here. But out on the ground this morning, there was a junior footy club out using the ground this morning. We're running Welcome to AFL shortly. There's fences here. There are people on the basketball court here. You know, this is a building that gets used by community all the time, and that's really unusual in AFL
fantastic.
terms.
And this is the first initiative that I'm aware of where a club, any sporting club's actually done this.
This is certainly bigger than anything else that runs here. That won't always be the case. This is a successful model. Successful organisations copy successful models, and I've always said that the biggest measure of our success is when other organisations copy it. That's when you know you've done well. We base this off classrooms that run in the EPL in the UK.
Yes.
Now, the big difference between what we do and what the EPL do, aside from the fact that they've got a heck of a lot more money than we do, is that they never involve their players. Their players don't do...
the interactions.
Yeah. Now, in this space, every one of the players on our list will work in this space over the course of a year, and I've got about half a dozen players who I work with really closely around developing their off-field development and their off-field skills.
And also, the fact that people can integrate in your club and at the Huddle at an early age brings them out of their shell.
Yeah.
And gets them to understand our culture.
That is absolutely part of it, and it's also about thinking about how we can bring the strengths from all of those cultures and strengthen our culture. So I don't want to say to everybody who walks in this door, you've got to be like me.
It's a bit like the Italians when they brought their cooking here.
Correct.
No one liked it 20 years ago, now everyone goes to Italian restaurants.
And the coffee, right? Who doesn't have an espresso machine in their house? Exactly right.
Exactly.
So how do we take the best from all of these cultures and make our country stronger? And that's what we're really trying to ask here.
Sonia, what are all these things behind us? All these messages?
This is our special place wall. This is probably my favourite part of the Huddle. So
it's like a shrine, isn't it?
It's a little bit like a shrine. So we started this with new arrivals, so kids who hadn't been in the country for very long. And part of what we do with them is get them to tell their story. And often they've never told their story to anyone other than a departmental official, you know, someone filling in the form to say whether they get a visa or not. And your special place is somewhere that you feel safe or comfortable or at home. And so the kids who don't have English as a background, when they write their card, they practice it first on a slate and then they write it up on the card.
There's a lot of thank yous behind here.
There's a lot of thank yous behind here.
Well, to this time, to this date, your most successful story of an ethnic child that come over from Sudan is Majak Dor.
Majak is a great story. So Majak arrived in Australia at the age of 13, spoke no English, went to an English language school. People who've heard him speak now wouldn't believe that. Went to an English language school and then into the school system. So Majak came to Australia, got into football, got drafted at the North Melbourne Football Club and has worked incredibly hard to get where he is. And both in terms of his on-field and his work ethic in terms of his footy's been fantastic, but also in terms of his off-field. He really struggles. He's 22 years old and he's held up as a leader in his community, and that's a tough place to ask. And, you know, you think about the average 22-year-olds we know, there aren't many of them who are put in that position.
But it's a great platform for his future.
Amazing platform.
It could get him into all sorts of things.
Amazing platform for his future, an amazing opportunity for his community, and an incredible opportunity for us to be able to work with someone like that.
Viewers, stay tuned. After the break, we're going to talk to other people connected with the Huddle, and we'll show you around and show you how the kids integrate.
I'm Mafia from Wiki Carbone. Today I've got with me Majak. We're at Aegis Park, which is a great park after they've relaid it and redone everything. Majak's a volunteer Werribee. Your nickname's Shaggy, but which one do you prefer, Majak or Shaggy?
Whichever, mate.
Well, Shaggy, tell us a bit about yourself.
So, I'm Shaggy. Came to Australia in 2005. You know, my background, I was playing soccer. And then 3 years, stopped playing soccer. One of my best mates, you know, got me back into footy. And just, I fell in love with the sport, and I guess I did a lot of volunteer with the local leagues, you know, Western Bulldogs. Got myself into an AFL community ambassador, and that's where, you know, got involved more heavily with the community, and I guess, you know, I didn't look back ever since, so.
And tell us a bit, so you're an AFL ambassador.
Yep.
What's your role as an AFL ambassador?
Yeah, so it's pretty much, you know, it's like exactly the same role that I have right now at Murph Football Club. It's going out there to communities, create awareness and promote the game to the newly arrival. And I guess I had a privilege to do that. with the newly coming. And my role as Werribee Football Club is multicultural development officer, and it's given me a lot of opportunity to pass on my knowledge. And sometimes it's easier coming from a person who actually coming from a different background. So it's been a really great journey so far for the both of us.
So multicultural, so they're all different ages, all different cultures, from African continent, any other continent.
Any other. So mainly we target a couple of years been primary schools, and now we're going into where we work with a lot of the high schools as well, which has been a really good thing as well. So again, it's from different background, different type of ages. It's just giving them that experience and I guess opportunity for those who have, I guess, fortunate opportunity. Providing them with different opportunity. Even some of them play different sports. We understand that, but again, it's just giving them that set of hand. There's another sport. If you want to join, feel free to do it.
And it's all about getting involved, getting all the players involved. It's a multicultural game.
Yep.
Now, you still play football?
I've been doing it myself. I play down for Werribee District, and I couldn't be more happy with that. So it's going well, mate.
Thank you, Shaggy. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to Aegis Park to join in and get everyone involved.
Yep.
We'll go have a hot dog now.
No worries.
And we'll go watch the game later.
Looking forward to that.
The Huddle's the community arm of the football club. We run a range of programs aimed at developing young people in the local community. All the programs centre around sport, education and technology. We've been running for 4 years and each year we continue to develop and evolve our programs.
My name's Sean Dixon. I work with the Huddle here. I'm Sport and Recreation Officer for the Huddle. So my role is to engage young people through sport and recreation. So through our drop-in programs, we engage young people around the area. And then through that, we also help out with sporting clubs to reach these people and get them involved in any given sport, be it basketball, soccer, netball, and AFL as well. So the Welcome to AFL program is a fantastic way for us to engage with people that we might not otherwise engage with normally. So we, obviously today was Deakin University, but we also engage with community housing groups. Next week we have the North Melbourne Language Learning Centre getting involved. And it's a great way to engage people that might not engage the Huddle because they're not comfortable with it, but in a large group, they'll feel comfortable with their friends and family as well.
With the Welcome to AFL, part of it is around learning the laws of the game, the rules, and attending an AFL game, which they'll be doing this afternoon against Gold Coast Suns. Look, it's a great program because it really ties us into our community. Our community is ever-changing. We have a lot of young people and families in North Melbourne, Kensington, Ascot Vale, Flemington, who haven't grown up around football. And we think that football is a really good way to integrate into the wider Australian community.
Personally, for me, it's one of my favourite programs I'm involved with. I think it's a fantastic tool, again, for us to engage people that we might not normally have engaged with in the first place. Everyone loves speckies and goals. That's the two big ones. When we work with English language students, for example, they really love to kick the ball high up in the air as high as they can. But for most international students, it's usually the speckies and the goals. That's their favourites.
Partners like Ngawiki Carbone are integral to the development of programs. My role is to constantly develop initiatives and programs around our aims, so about sport, technology and education. And I think today we've sort of ticked most of those boxes. We couldn't do what we do without the support of partners such as Ngawiki Carbone. So today, having volunteers out here, cooking the barbecue, having a kick of the footy and then walking them to a game, it's really important.
To get in contact with the Huddle, you can either just give North Melbourne Football Club a call. The Huddle has a website. If you go on the North Melbourne Football Club website, there's a section of the Huddle there. You can click on the link there and they'll give you all the information you need.
I have with me now Mafia. Welcome. Thank you for coming on the show. I understand you're part of the Huddle.
Yes.
You're a volunteer.
So I do volunteer work here. So it'll be my second year now.
What do you do here?
My uncle worked through the African community and said to come down to Team Africa and just meet a few boys, just meet new kids. So I went down there and then North Melbourne asked if I would like to do a bit of work experience with them. So I put my hand up straight away and just, loved it since. Just working in the AFL industry, it's just been incredible.
Obviously you do enjoy it as well?
Oh, I love it. It's something that makes me feel happy, seeing someone, like a young kid, smiling.
How did you get involved with football?
Oh, my family moved over to Western Australia when I was in year 7, so I was a mad Queensland boy, loved my rugby. So I moved over to Western Australia. There was no rugby at that time, so pretty much all my schoolmates said to me, "Oh, have a fun with us and kick the ball." So I got a little bit confused, passed the ball, a rugby ball, and then all my mates had a laugh at me, said, "Oh, look, I'll teach you a bit of some skills." And yeah, after a few games playing school footy and under 13, just from there, just didn't look back and just fell in love with it.
What do you love about football?
It has everything in it. It has rugby, basketball, the skills of every sport in there, and just having the great friendships you can get from there. It's just incredible.
Can you tell the viewers how to get involved with the Huddle?
Definitely drop down to the Huddle in the afternoons, and you're always welcome to North Melbourne. Always, yeah.
And you can teach them how to
kick
footy and all their skills?
I'll be teaching them how to kick the ball and handballing drills.
That's
and
great.
A few tips how to tackle, so...
Yeah. I have with me now Aiden and Nick, who have participated in today's game. How's it going, boys?
Good.
Do you enjoy it?
Yes.
Nick, what did you enjoy about it all?
I enjoyed having to kick around the footy in the big field.
Yeah, and Aiden, what did you enjoy about it?
Enjoying kicking the goals.
So, Aiden, what did you learn today?
They showed me how to do a drop punt.
And Nick, what did you learn?
They showed me how to do a pass.
You looking forward to the game?
Yep.
Who do you think's going to win?
Kangas.
Kangas.
This organisation, we're very proud to be part of it because it's passionate. It's all about passion and getting people to integrate into society. Football's a fantastic way of doing it because it teaches a lot of skills. Coordination, sharing, tapping the ball, getting your teammates involved. So it's a fantastic way of getting everyone involved. But the beauty about this organisation, the Huddle, and this is why we're pretty keen on it, apart from the fact that it teaches you how to play a sport, a pretty big part of Victoria, it educates people. This is the first of its kind, and that's why a firm like ours is keen to be involved, because passion's what we do. I mean, if you're passionate, it's amazing what you can do in life. Keep that in mind. I do want to thank Sonia, I want to thank Sean, Bridget, Sarah, and the whole cast and crew of the Huddle. I think they're fantastic what they're doing. I just hope that in say, I asked Sonia this question today, where do you think you'll be in 5 years' time? I just hope that this club here can develop and foster an environment where it multiplies, and then through this educational program of sport and also education, we can have a membership base of 50,000+ people, because the club does need it. But we do need to foster these communities so that North Melbourne gets bigger and better. We're very passionate, and so is the Huddle. Let's keep it moving. Let's hope that it does really well in the future, and you do need volunteers. And enjoy today too. Go North Melbourne. Go the Shimboners. Viewers, welcome back to the show. Today we're filming on location at North Melbourne Football Club at the Huddle with Sonja Hood. Hi, Sonia.
Yeah, good, thanks, Tony.
Sonia, the success of the Huddle to date has revolved a lot around your partners. What does that mean?
Absolutely. Look, we've got some fantastic partners. So we've got partners within the community, and those are often community groups, the Somalian groups, Eritreans, the Oromos, who came on board and partnered with us in helping us develop programs that were right for their community. We've got some great partners in terms of the Footy Club, the Australian Multicultural Foundation, the Scanlon Foundation. But the ones that probably bring me the most joy are partners, organisations like Nawiki Carbone and other organisations who really buy into what we're doing and want to be part of it. We like to partner with organisations that share our value set and share our aspiration and have some idea of where we've come. So if a large corporate wanted to drop in and drop a whole lot of money on me with no strings, that'd be fantastic. I'm not going to tell you it wouldn't be. But generally speaking, the organisations we've partnered with are the ones who want to spend not just money with us but time with us and develop their organisations as well as ours. And I reckon that's what partnership's about.
But also, Sonia, in the Wiki Carbone's case, what they've done is they've volunteered a lot of their younger staff.
Yep.
and that way they develop their own social skills.
Absolutely. So
interaction.
The staff are here today. So the work we do with No Wiki Carbone does base around footy, right? So footy, there are 22 rounds a year in Melbourne of games that are pretty accessible and pretty good to go to. A lot of the people we work with come from countries where kids can't go to the sport and women can't go to sport. That's not true in Australia.
No.
Going to the footy is a real family event, but you've got to know how to do it. You've got to know what you're watching, you've got to know how to barrack, you've got to know what to do when you get there. We've had families who didn't know how to take the train, so we teach them all of that. This year we're doing that with No Wiki Carbone.
That's fantastic.
The fact that you're bringing your staff along is fantastic because two things happen. One is that the kids we're working with learn from people who have an enormous amount of knowledge. But the second thing I think that happens is your staff learn something. They learn a different perspective from those kids and the issues of those new arrivals, which I think they can take back into their lives.
Sonia, one of the things that is very, very insightful and enlightening for us is to understand the different cultures. What makes you tick and what makes me tick and the next person, we're all different.
Yep.
And bringing that together is pretty important, I think.
It is, and footy is one of those great places where people actually bump into each other. You know, that you can sit next to someone from a completely different background than you, and for that 3 hours you share something, you've got a common thread. And even if we're not barracking for the same team, we're speaking that same language, you know, and that's a remarkable kind of piece of glue.
And we're also going to introduce them to our barbecue later on, which is an Australian thing, isn't it?
Very Australian thing, halal sausages, so we've adapted, you know, so that's a fantastic thing too.
And Sonia, the nines, the footy nines, you've got this competition that goes during the course of a year?
Yeah, so we ran AFL nines over the summer, so during the off-season when footy wasn't on, and the idea was twofold. It was to bring local businesses down, and I think No Wiki had a team, which was fantastic. We provided a team of local kids from the housing estate, but we also employed local young people as umpires, and so we create a bit of employment in that scenario.
The umpiring was a bit dodgy, but the Huddle did win the competition.
I know. Who'd have thought? Well, you'd hope, though, wouldn't you, that a group of kids studying in an elite football environment, something might have rubbed off on them.
Yeah, no, actually, I saw the final. I thought it was fantastic because the side they beat were very, very polished, but they really put it together when it counted, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And to provide those opportunities to be part of a community, to compete, to do something quintessentially Australian like that on a summer afternoon, how fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sonia, your team, how many people are involved in the Huddle?
There are 6 of us. I like to say I'm the only overhead. Everybody else is out providing programs, and they're fantastic. We have incredibly qualified teachers working here. We're very lucky with the staff that we've got.
And the setup in the Huddle, the teaching side of it, it's set up, it reminds me of my old days at primary school. Very warm, good environment to actually learn.
This is a learning environment, and it's a welcoming environment. We have very few rules in here. We require you to treat everybody who's here with respect. If you can't do that, you're not welcome here. We require you, if you come to study here or to be in a class here, to participate. If you can't do that, you're not welcome here. But beyond that, you're welcome.
I like the word respect because respecting people means you also integrate, because if you're disassociating yourself with people, that's a form of bullying, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah. And I think that this is a place too where you can ask those questions. Someone asked me last week how I deal with all the cultural differences around here. To be honest, I just ask. You know, there's a lot of assumed knowledge, or there are things that we assume about people. If someone's wearing a headscarf or if somebody's a particular colour, we make a set of assumptions about them that aren't always fair. It's better just to ask the question.
Exactly. Learn a bit more about people.
Yeah.
What makes them tick.
And as it turns out, they're making assumptions about me too. So we had an event with Madge Actor down at the Flemington Flats earlier this year with kids, lots of kids, and the mothers came, and there were a lot of media. There was a lot of media there, heck of a lot of media there. And we were getting these kids involved in footy for the first time. And so I asked Majak if he would come and speak to the mothers, because I was worried that they would have fears about their children playing football in the same way that his parents had. So he came over, and there's this gaggle of mothers standing in a group in the same way that I would with my friends at the school gate. And I say, ladies, this is Majak. If you have any questions, you can ask him. Do you know what their question was?
What was that?
Are we going to be on TV tonight or tomorrow night?
Oh, okay.
That was the question. So they weren't...
That's fantastic.
You know, which is, again, exactly the sort of thing that I would have asked. So, yeah, that is fantastic.
Where do you see the Huddle as an organisation being in, say, 5 years' time? Where would you want it to be?
Well, that's a good question. I'd like it to still be here. I'd like the community to feel that they owned it. I'd like to not have to worry about who was going to pay for it, or, you know, how those things were going to... And I'd like it to be an absolutely integral, unarguable part of the North Melbourne Football Club.
I'd like you to get all the local traders to support it too, Sonia. If not the Huddle, at least a combination of the Huddle and North Melbourne.
I'd love the local traders to support it, and that's part of what we'll be pushing this year, is to go out and to say to this local community, we've built this thing, it's in your community, it's helping your community, we want to work with you to make it even better.
Just a bit like the Hawthorn community, what they do is during the lead up to the finals, they got flags and banter. It's fantastic.
It is fantastic, and look how well they're going off the back of it.
Yeah, success breeds success, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Viewers, we come to the end of the episode. I want to thank Sonja Hood and the North Melbourne Footy Club and the Huddle.
Thank you, and thanks to Nawiki for coming on board with us.
Stay tuned for future episodes, go to our website, and always remember to stay safe.